Creative Caregivers is a monthly gathering for nurses to offer them time and space to feel seen, heard, and cared for through the arts and in relationship with other artists.
This is a space where we want to give our nurses permission to be themselves and to sit back and to be held.
What we're doing is we're offering space for nurses to complete their emotions, to see that other nurses feel the same way, that they're not alone in this, and that it's through that collective care that we're creating, nurses are fully able to release. Creative Caregivers was developed by myself and Alison Waldman as co-directors, and it was something that we had always wanted to be able to offer on a monthly basis, just to have sustainability, to have a space that nurses knew they could come to every month, and caregivers as well, to know that they had a space to get creative, to reflect, to have an intimate conversation with other nurses about what they were going through.
We imagine Creative Caregivers as this missing link to what we knew about compassion fatigue, and in particular during the pandemic, what the healthcare systems were reaching for. We knew there was this need for a place for nurses to come and to soften and to be given permission to speak or complain or grieve or cry or laugh and be silly. As we were designing this offering and the space that we were dreaming of, we were so lucky to partner with the Oncology Nursing Foundation as a place to pilot this program within a particular community for oncology nurses.
What came out as a theme, again, it's that love for self. So we started out with that part is, again, we give so much to others or give up so much. But again, that love for self is really, really important.
And then we had one last gesture of the hand, which Patty did such a good job explaining. Patty, you want to talk about it?
Well, just talked about that, nursing the hand, I know even at MD Anderson, it's part of our shared governance model. It portrays really that caring touch, that you have as a nurse.
So Alison and I spent a lot of time really thinking through how we wanted each workshop to be presented, as well as the themes that went across all the months. And we took all the participants really on a journey over a 4-month period. And so we were really intentional about what we were offering during those periods, and also knowing that it was virtual. It had to be interactive. It had to be something that everyone was participating in, and something that kept people interested the entire time. And to do that, we also used breakout rooms. We worked and collaborated with the artists themselves. In many ways, Alison and I created the structure, and then we relied on the expertise and the backgrounds of the artists to fill in a lot of the different activities that we did. And so when they were leading, they were really comfortable. It was an activity that they helped create, and they felt really good about.
My name is Kelly Greenlight. I'm currently based in Irvington, New Jersey, and I am a theater artist, a wellness warrior, and a cultural organizer.
Hello, my name is Rita Liu. I'm a theater artist, mover, healer at Queens, New York.
My name is Court Sermanek. I am an artist, a theater maker, a joy inciter, and a story weaver.
Hello, my name is Sun Chung. I'm a wellness artist here in Washington Heights, New York.
I'm Dr. Claire Hamore. I'm so lucky to get to live and work and play in Denver, Colorado. I'm a theater maker, a minister, a joy celebrator, and a play enthusiast.
So our workshop this evening is exploring self-compassion and also joy. So we're just going to start by grounding ourselves, by giving ourselves a bit of love and compassion tonight.
Alison and I broke up the workshops into 4 different themes. And our first workshop was in October, and it was called Nurture Yourself with Self-Compassion and Creative Joy in the Midst of an Extremely Difficult Season.
I'm Cindy Simonson. I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I work at Duke Regional Hospital. It's nice to see everybody.
Cindy and I both do knitting to bring us joy. So we kind of talked about that as bringing us together.
Another common theme in our room was joy and playfulness. And so my daughter came into the room at the right moment and gave us our playful gesture of the sticking her tongue out.
It's a sacred space, kind of a sanctuary where these caregivers and nurses can bring their work, life, and personas back home into the heart and to plug into the more personal sides of the work and how to celebrate what needs to be celebrated, how to grieve what needs to be grieved, and how to not only be cared for by their community, but also a place where they can offer that to other nurses.
I'm Deborah Allen, but I go by Hutch, and I have actually been a nurse for over 40 years. I'm part of the North Carolina chapter. I honestly didn't know what to expect. I really didn't have a clue how interactive it was going to be, and I think that's what the beauty of the program really offered, was a truly interactive, warm environment and culture. You actually all touched our hearts to where we could truly acknowledge those feelings and have those feelings be expressed. And maybe those feelings weren't expressed by words as much as maybe just the heart opening or crying or laughing and sharing in joy as we're moving through those feelings.
So we're actually going to brew a potion together, but this is not any kind of potion, it's a self-care potion. I invite you to think of this as the ingredient of making or brewing a self-care potion. Wake me up before you go. Da, 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 da. I'm going to slice this on and I'm going to add this onto the recipe.
I'd like to share, I think spending time to do something that you love.
A liter of tea from an afternoon tea.
2 gallons of bright sunlight.
A baker's dozen of really good books.
I put down cake.
I love cake.
2 whole balls of yarn that I can crochet with.
I would fold in a cup of smiles and hugs.
The reason we want to use creativity with our nurses is because it gives them an opportunity to start asking themselves, what does it mean to be creative? What does it mean to sit back and think about this and reflect on this experience? What does it mean to be playful and to be silly and laugh? When we create the space and the permission for our nurses to do that, we hope that it empowers them to bring that curiosity into other spaces, into their work life, and even at the bedside with their patients.
As adults, we don't get to daydream and let our minds relax and play, and I think it's really healthy for us to do that, especially in these times.
Caregivers, we believe deeply in the power of movement and dance. Dance is for everybody and for every body.
And I think that movement, it makes us feel energetic. It makes us happy. Being a caregiver all day, we have the same movements over and over again. But when you're alone and you can dance or you can walk or you can jog, those are movements that you want to do. And so it makes you that much happier and it just makes you feel good.
I just want to remind us too that isn't it amazing that our heart is always dancing every second? It's just boom. It's just dancing. So even if we're sitting still, we're still dancing. You know, there's so many ways to look at compassion fatigue and burnout, and I can speak to it from my experience as a nurse, that really what we're being asked to do is to sit with someone and care for someone in some of the most difficult times of their life, and to be present and to hold that space for them. And then a minute later, walk out and not even have a moment to reflect or complete that emotion that may be happening. When I worked as an oncology nurse and a hospice nurse, when you go from patient to patient, you don't have a moment to grieve. Like many times we are grieving the loss of our patients as they slowly are declining, and yet we run from one room to the next. And so that what is happening is this compounding grief that we're never able to fully experience and release.
We are exploring grief and joy today. I invite you to grab your pen and you can write out this prompt or just write your response. But when you're in your grief, what is it that you need?
When I am in my joy, I need joyful company.
When I'm in my grief, I need yummy food.
When I'm in my joy, I need a break to process everything. The way we focus on ourselves, we do these goofy activities, whether we're drawing hands or drawing a picture with our eyes closed. Then all the movement they have, the sharing aspect, it does really bring you up from any frustrating experience. I could feel the weight on my shoulders lifting a little, definitely sitting up straighter, feeling more energized and happier, less stressed, absolutely.
Just sort of saying hello to everyone, giving a little tippy, tap, tap, tap. Beautiful, thank you. Now that we've begun to tap into our bodies, I'm going to invite you to tap into your memory, into finding one specific memory with a person, or it could be a pet or a creature, but finding a memory when you looked into their eyes and they looked into your eyes, and you knew that they saw you for who you were, that they heard you, and that they cared for you so deeply.
Creative Caregivers is a place where there's no right answer, where the hardest part is showing up. And comparatively, the rest is a little easier because by showing up, you have said yes to something that maybe you aren't sure what this experience is going to be like, but you're open to being vulnerable. So how we have defined and designed the creative experience here is about using an artistic modality to tap into something a little bit deeper. It's not about completing something, it's about starting something. What we do is we also give the nurses some tools and really specific examples of how to take this back to the bedside, how to share it with their coworkers, how to disrupt a little bit and inspire in their spaces to help their peers have a little bit of a different understanding of what it means to be creative and responsive during the workday or even at home with their families.
So I think what I'm taking with me is the
purpose of being intentional like we were for this hour, to make sure that I focus on myself and give myself that time to relax my body, calm my body down. And I think when I do that, the emotions come, right? Because oftentimes I have held those back.
I'm taking with me an open mind and willingness, and I'm leaving behind embarrassment, because, it's fun to jam and just kind of let it go and do whatever. And I'm not going to be embarrassed to do that. Whenever I feel like I need it, I'm going to do it.
I am taking with me acceptance and joy, and I'm leaving behind sadness and closed-mindedness.
In the future, I hope to continue to accept reality and others for what they are and what it is, from a place of compassion and love and empathy for self and others. And I hope for resiliency for all.
Taking all these things we have found this evening together in community that we couldn't have found on our own. Thoughts around being brave and vulnerable and honest, telling the truth about our emotions, our feelings, our thoughts, and then releasing the fear, lifting all these hopes, imagining all of these hopes are written on our hands, sharing them now with the world. There were so many beautiful moments that happened in the workshop that really touched my heart, and I was just blown away with how brave all of our participants were when they would share and offer insight into what they were going through. And I felt so grateful because it opens the space for others to share openly as well, which is the healing, because we heal in relationship. That's how healing takes place, is when we open up space in safe spaces to others to be able to heal together.
My hope for our oncology nurses who experience creative caregivers is that they walk away with a sense of empowerment, that they feel a little bit more confident in learning to identify what it is that they need and to know how to ask for it from their loved ones and from their colleagues. We are so grateful to the Oncology Nursing Foundation for the opportunity to pilot this project with 5 incredible chapters of nurses.
I think it's all about doing what we can for each other and remembering that we are also human and we also need care.
It gives me a recharge to be able to be seen, heard, and acknowledged. It makes you value the friendships that you have and the relationships you build in ONS. It really made me appreciate those things.